Hey there, and welcome to a walkthrough of the Plannably Meridian Gantt Planner. Meridian is a planner available in both Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel, designed to help you map out timelines, organize tasks, and track progress, whether you're managing a full project, planning an event, or just bringing more structure to your week. In this video, we'll go step by step, from getting set up to adding tasks to tracking your progress on the Gantt chart. If you've already got the planner open, you're good to go. And if you haven't picked it up yet, there's a link in the description below where you can get access. If you need any additional help or support, please visit our website, plannably.co, where you can find documentation, help articles, and live support. All right, let's jump in with a quick overview. The planner is built around 4 main sheets. The Settings tab, where you'll set your project info, working days, task statuses, priorities, and so on. The Gantt Chart tab, where the real planning happens. At the top of the Gantt chart, you'll see a project overview, your title, dates, and an overall progress bar. In the top right corner, you'll find key metrics like how many tasks are complete and how many days are left. Down the left-hand side is where your phases and tasks live. And on the right is the timeline, where everything comes together visually. The Kanban View, which organizes tasks by status for a quick snapshot of progress. And the Calendar View, which maps tasks across each day of the week based on their start and end dates. All right, let's head to the Settings tab and get everything set up. At the top, you'll see space to add your project title, a short description, and the name of the project lead. These will appear at the top of the Gantt chart, so it's worth filling them in to keep things clear, especially if you're sharing the planner with others. Next, you'll choose your start date and your start day of the week. These work together to control how the timeline groups weeks. For example, if you choose Wednesday, 7th May as your start date and Monday as your start day, the timeline will begin each week on a Monday and group the days accordingly. It will adjust the timeline to make sure the project starts in the right week. There's also an end date field. This doesn't control the chart, but it does appear in your project summary, useful for reference or sharing timelines with others. Scrolling down, you'll find the Statuses section where you can customize how progress is tracked throughout your project. You can rename each status and choose whether it applies a background fill, a strike-through, or both. For example, complete and canceled might be set to apply strike-through formatting so they're easy to spot. The Priorities section lets you define up to 5 levels, like P1 to P5, or rename them to something more meaningful, like urgent or nice to have. Next, you'll see non-working days. These checkboxes let you mark which days of the week should be excluded from your schedule. When checked, those days will be grayed out in the timeline and won't be counted in task durations or your overall days left calculation. Below is a section for holidays or excluded dates. You can add up to 20 specific dates, like public holidays or time off, along with a label so you know what they are. These dates are also excluded from task durations and appear in a darker gray on the timeline. If you are using the Google Sheets version, you can double-click the date field to open a calendar picker. Finally, you'll find Task Owners. This is where you'll list anyone responsible for tasks, up to 20 names. These will be available to select from a drop-down when assigning tasks on the chart. That's everything you need to set the foundation. Once you've updated this sheet, you're ready to start adding tasks. This is where the chart and timeline comes to life. Let's move over to the Gantt Chart tab and see it in action. You'll begin by adding a phase. Each phase represents a section of your project, like design, development, or launch. You can give it a name and choose a color using the drop-down at the top left of the phase block. That color will be used to style the border, progress completion bar, and timeline blocks for tasks in that phase. Just next to the color drop-down is a field to add a phase description. This helps keep things organized, especially in longer projects. Now let's add a task. Each phase can include up to 20 tasks. The editable cells, shown in light gray, are where you'll enter task details. Be careful not to edit or delete anything outside of those light gray editable fields. If you accidentally try to change a protected area, you'll see a message pop up. Simply click Cancel and try again. Select a status, give the task a short description, set the % complete, assign a task owner, choose a priority, and set both a start and end date. Once entered, you'll see a few things happen automatically. A sparkline bar appears next to the task, showing how far along it is. The number of days between the start and end date is calculated, excluding non-working days, holidays, and excluded days configured on your settings page. And at the top of the phase block, a progress bar is filled to show how complete that phase is overall, based on all tasks inside it. Over on the right, your task will appear in the timeline as a colored block, matching the phase color by default. But if you want to highlight a specific task or show a different color, you can use the line override drop-down on the far right of each task row. This will override the phase color just for that task, helpful for marking priorities or drawing attention to key work. There are also some built-in visual cues. Non-working days appear in light gray on the timeline. Holidays and excluded dates appear in a darker gray. And today's date is highlighted so you can easily see where you are. If you need to edit a task, just update the gray cells. The chart and timeline will update automatically. As you update tasks, the metrics in the top right corner also update automatically. These show the number of days remaining in the overall project, based on your end date and working days, as well as a live count of how many tasks are currently in each status, like not started, in progress, or complete. It gives you a quick, high-level view of where everything stands at any given moment. To help keep things clean, we've also added a custom menu at the top called Plannably. This is only currently available in the Google Sheets version. From here, you can quickly clear the data for a specific phase or reset the entire planner, perfect for starting fresh on a new project. The first time you use it, Google will ask for permission to run the script. That's completely normal, and we walk you through it in our help docs on our website. There is a link in the description below. And that's it. Once your tasks are in, your timeline is set, and your progress is tracked automatically. Now let's take a look at the Kanban View, a visual layout that groups your tasks by status. Each column here represents one of your defined statuses, like not started, in progress, or complete. As you update tasks in the Gantt chart, this board updates automatically. At the top of each column, you'll see a count of how many tasks are in that status, along with the percentage complete for all tasks in this column. Each task card shows helpful details, including the phase it belongs to with its color or override, the task name, owner, percent complete, and start and end dates. This view is read-only, so there's nothing you need to update manually. It's just a great way to get a big picture sense of how your project is progressing at a glance. Finally, let's take a look at the calendar view, another read-only sheet that gives you a week-by-week view of your tasks. Each row represents one full week, and each day shows the tasks scheduled to be active on that date, based on their start and end dates from the Gantt chart. Just like the rest of Meridian, the calendar layout respects your project's start date and start day of the week, so it's fully aligned with your settings. You'll notice that today's date is highlighted in light blue. Past dates are faded. Non-working days are light gray, and excluded dates are shown in a darker gray. Tasks don't appear on these grayed out days, so you're only seeing relevant working day activity. Each day can show up to 8 tasks. If there are more than that, you'll see a note letting you know to check the Gantt chart for the full list. This view is great for scanning your week or identifying which days are looking a bit too crowded. Thanks for watching. We hope this planner helps bring structure, clarity, and a little less chaos to your day. If you ever get stuck or have a question, don't worry, we've got you covered. You'll find links to documentation and support resources below and inside the planner. On our website, you'll find detailed guides, FAQ articles, and planner-specific instructions. You'll find links to documentation and support resources below and inside the planner. On our website, you'll find detailed guides, FAQ articles, and planner-specific instructions.